Alright, boys, April the 28th, 4:12 p.m. I'm probably going to be turning this camera on and off some. I want to show you this here. You JS2 owners, operators, like to hunt these high iron sights. We're going to also look at the Manticore and the M8 caught over this. Question: is there a right speed setting on the Deus necessarily to hunt iron sights? Can somebody say, oh, this is it, sharpshooter, just run it in this and game, set, match? The answer to that question is no. And you're going to see in this video. Both of these machines perform on what I'm going to show you here. Okay? But there's a caveat. Especially with that machine right there, the JS2 9-inch coil. Now let me show you what I got here. Now this is on the level, okay? So anybody thinks I'm a damn con artist, you just get that shit right out of your head, okay? Me and my buddy Mark Sloan, I'm going to call you because you may not see this video. I believe he and I the other day comparing the JS2 and the Manticore with the M8 coil, seen something very similar to what you're going to see in this video. There's also another reason I'm showing this video. I made reference earlier about a high iron sight using that coil on that detector. You Manticore users using the M8 coil and high iron sights need to watch this video. Why is that? Because you could be fooled. You could literally hear a good signal. You could dig down and you might hoist out a small piece of iron and you might be thinking that's what you heard. In fact, it wouldn't. And you'll see what I'm talking about later in this video. So here's the deal. The coil sweeps for both of these coils. Now remember, the nickel's protruding on the foam about a little less than half of it. And that's just the way it's in there, its own edge. You see that ruler right there? So there won't be any coil sweeps over 5 3/4 inches above that foam. Right there. You see that little nail right there? Now I've got this big nail back here, but we're going to look at this situation here from sweeping all sorts of different directions, and I want you to notice what happens. Which one of these coils on these detectors has the highest odds of locating that nickel right there? Think about that. They will both locate it. But this machine right here, watch what happens when I use it. Audio response is a factor. Speed setting is another factor. Now remember how high I said I'm going to sweep that coil. So when I get over here, the coil is going to stay above that board right there. Okay? And when I'm over here, the nail is over here and that nickel, you see these boards, I've got them lapped. This is real interesting when you see this. So, measuring the 2x4s, the way they're lapped over, they're about 4 3/4 inches. A little over 4 3/4 inches from that point right there to that nickel. Watch what happens in this video to both of these detectors, okay? Both users of both models of these detectors can learn something in this video. Truthfully, it don't even really matter how experienced you are. Even an experienced person may learn something in this video. Alright, JS2 up first. Now I'm going to leave the silencer at -1 sensitive FT. I'm in full tune, no bottle cap. Alright. I'll get all the notch out of it. I'm going to leave this machine in silencer 1. We're in full tones, offsets at 10. I'm at 90. 2 sensitivity, speed 3. Okay, I'm going to show you the obvious first. Coming as such. Now the audio response is at 4. That's the default. See that? Alright, listen. Okay, so we've got it there. Okay, how about over here? Now remember, I've got a nail right here. Now there are called different sizes here, okay? Now that's audio response 4. Okay, now watch what happens over here. Alright, and note where this coil is in respect to the end of that board. You notice we don't get very much. Speed 3, we don't get hardly anything at all there, do we? Now I'm going to drop the speed to 2.5 and stay right here. We hear a real low signal. Alright, speed 3. Now I've got this external speaker max, boys. So speed 3 there is a bust, okay? Speed 2. You hear that? Now, at speed 2 on this machine, just like what you just seen, audio response 4, this machine is not keeping up with that Manticore. You're going to see. The only way to make this machine right here keep up with that Manticore, I believe I'm telling you correctly, watch what happens here. Audio response, I'm going to dial it to 6. Listen. Back to 4. Now I'm going to change the speed. Back to 3. Audio response back to 6. Didn't help us there much, did it? Speed 2.5. Alright, that's audio response 6, back to audio response 4. You hear that? Real wispy signal. Now I'm going to turn the audio response up. I mean, 2.5 for speed. Let's come over this. Turn the audio response down. Turn the speed up. Audio response 4, speed 3. Turn the audio response to 6. Alright, now I'm still at speed 6, or audio response 6, reactivity 3. What do we get over here? Alright, I'm going to turn the speed to 2.5, audio response 6. Audio response 4. Okay. Now, toward the end of this video, I'm going to turn this machine back on. And we're going to sweep from over here again. Okay? And we're going to remove that little nail right there. Now I'll go ahead and say this straight up front, even without that nail there, speed 3 sensitive FT is not going to match that M8 call coming from over here. Now remember, that call is a little shorter from fore to aft, okay? So I'm going to turn the Deus 2 back on, and what I'll do is I'm going to come back out here and sweep again. And then we will remove that nail. See that nickel on edge down there? My old buddy found a bug old flight button in a high iron sight with a Manticore that's behaving a whole lot like this situation right here. comparing these two models, okay? So let me turn the camera off. All right. Now remember, this is the Manticore. This coil is a different size than that Deus too, okay? Coil size here is driving part of what you're seeing, but it may not be driving all of it. Maybe something else. Old Mr. Dankowski might know the answer. Okay, there's going to be what I'm using. Upper ferrous limit's 8, lower is 3. One region all tones, multi-IQ, no stabilizer, no disc, and we're going to leave this machine in speed 4. Speed 4, this machine can see some targets, that machine can't see, period. That machine can see some targets, this machine with that coil can't see, period. The purpose of this video is to show you how both of these machines are behaving and what to be on guard for. Or maybe using your decision making to go back to a site because of how you run a machine previously. Alright? All-terrain low conductors. Now watch what happens here. Now I was 92 sensitivity. Now granted, I am running this machine a little slower, or slower. Watch this. Monster signal. You see that? Now you're going to have to take my word for it. If I remove that nickel down there, you're not going to hear what you're hearing in this speaker, this detector. Listen again. You hear that? That's a normal profile. Alright. Profile simple. Okay? See the disc in the screen there? Listen to that. Monster signal. Now we'll go up here and raise the speed to 5. Still a monster signal. Now look where I've got that coil. Now I've got it above that 4. Now that's speed 5. I'm going to go back to speed 4. You see it in the window there. Watch this. Look where that coil is. I'm going to keep advancing the coil. Now remember, I've got a nail as such, and that nickel's on it. So coming through here with the Deus 2 and the Manticore is a no-go. But notice on the Deus, I had to have the speed down lower. Speed 3 is a no-go, but for all practical purposes, with the Deus right here, even with a higher audio response, 2.5 did better with a higher audio response. Listen to this thing. Listen to that. See the ID in the meter? Now, why I'm showing you this video, now think about what I'm doing here. If I come, there's the nickel is right there. See it? So when I put the coil is about square over that nickel. But look where I'm getting the signal. Now I'm going to keep moving the coil forward. Look at there. You see that? So if you heard this in the wild and you dug a hole down in there, you might find a small something, an iron or whatever, and you say, oh, that's what I heard. You might not even re-sweep. You could disturb a masker over here. You might push a masker out over that nickel, where if you do re-sweep, you don't hear it anymore. Listen to that. Monster signal. Okay, now I'm going to come across it like so. So both machines do all right there. Now remember, I put this nail in here, okay? And watch what happens here. So that nickel right there, I can hit from this direction, and this direction. Okay? Speed 4. And actually do some pretty good hunting in iron with this machine. That machine over there, if you put that thing in speed 3, and you come in like so, or you come over here like so. For all practical purposes, you are SOL, and coming across here is sort of a weak signal. Now, remember what I said about call height coming over that. Okay, now let me get back over here again. Now, we're in speed 4. You hear that? Now, I'm not tilting this call. I'm keeping that call level. There's no bullshit in this video. I've done checked and double checked this. All right, now I'm going to go to speed 6. Now I'm in speed 6 and I'm out there, and I've got that call just barely over that board. You see that? Speed 7. Okay, now let's cross it here with speed 7. Let's go in here with speed 7. So it's a little shakier there probably at speed 7. Speed 6. Speed 6 probably does a little better in there. Now I'm going to turn this camera off. Let's fire this Deus2 up. That's not moving. But I am going to remove that nail there eventually. Alright, got this Deus set back up just like I talked about earlier. Full tones, offset of 10, speed 3, audio response number 4. Alright, now I'm back out over here. Listen. I've got that speaker maxed. Alright, speed 3. Now let's come over here. That's sort of a shallow, you know, that's a not a strong tone. Now we're in here. We don't really get much in there. Okay. Now I'm going to go in here. I'm going to stay in pitch tones. We're going to pitch tones. Sensitive FT. And I'm dialing the pitch of the tone to max. Okay. 6.8 disc. I'm still in speed 3. We'll leave that window open right there. Okay. Now this is pitch tones. Speed 3. You hear that? That's pitch tones. It's working. Look at that old can on the ground. You hear that? That Manticore right there with that M8 coil is lighting that nickel up, boys. Okay, now I'm going to cross it like so here. Now remember, the audio response is still 4. Now I'm over in here. There's iron tone in this now. I'm going to look at the meter, see what it's doing here. Meter's not doing anything. Okay, now I'm still in pitch tones 2.5 for reactivity. Audio response still 4. Now I've got that call past that board. Now I've got it out here like with a Manticore was wearing it out. You hear that? That's pitch tones. Now listen. You hear that? Would you stop on that? Back to speed off to 2. Now she's getting stronger. Hear that? What about in here? A lot stronger, huh? How about in here? Alright, that's better, ain't it? Speed 2. 2.5. Back over here, 2.5. Ain't worth shit. That could be missed. Audio response dialed to 6 at 2.5. Better. 72 in the window. You see that? So there's no one good setting for iron with this machine. There's some targets may be exposed at 3, 4, and you can clearly see 2 does a better job there than 3. 2.5 is sort of so-so. Alright, now I'm going to go back to full tones. The offset is still at 10. Reactivity 2.5. Audio response back to 4. Okay, now I'm going to come back over here. Now watch what happens here. So I'm back in here. Out here at that board. You hear that? You see where I'm at? Alright, now let's take this little nail off right here. And let's come back out here with this call. What happens? Not much, not a whole lot of difference, maybe a little. But now, I'm going to get something coming through there. It ain't going to be very good because of the orientation of that nickel. Now that's audio response 4. Alright, full tones at default settings. From out here, and from here with that nail in there, now this right in here was closer with the Deus 2. This right out here, there were miles apart. 2.5 and 3 on this machine. I didn't show you 4. It would be even worse. The Deus 2, or the Manticore right in there, is a whooping that nickel. Now I'm going to leave the camera run. I'm still in sensitive FT. Audio response 4. Speed 2.5. Now I'm going to show you what I've got here. See that max on that speaker? Alright, now listen again. Alright, max external speaker. So I'm going to turn this machine off. Remember, I picked that nail up. I turned that machine off. Now the Manticore's back on in all-terrain low conductors. Speed 4. Alright, now watch what happens here. You hear that? Hear how loud that is? I can even turn the external speaker down to probably 22. That's better than the Deus 2's giving. See what I'm talking about? Alright, I'm about done with this video. Me and my buddy got on a find the other day, and that Deus 2 right there with that coil wouldn't touch it. And after we dug part of the hole out, we didn't find anything. He sweeps again, and his detector's still going off. Except then I could run the Deus 2, the nose of the coil forward and sweep. And I could hear it. A lot like what we see right here. See this? See where the nose of that coil is, but look where that nickel is. Well, that's what happened, I think, with me and him. The find was nowhere near the center of that coil right there when we dug the hole. But we may have moved some iron when we dug that particular part of the hole. And then when I swept it with that detector, the very lip, when I pushed it forward, I could barely hear it. Well, this machine right here was knocking the socks off of it. That's going to conclude the video. And audio response and the speed setting on this machine are 2 factors you need to consider hunting high iron sights trying to purge them. With that machine right there, the Deus 2. And audio response 4 may not be the best setting necessarily. And speed 2.5 and 3 may not get all your finds out of high iron sights either. You might miss some of them, depending. Hope you enjoyed.